Is Drake cracking under pressure or playing the smartest long game in hip-hop history? On July 4th, while most of America was lighting fireworks, Drake was lighting a match, and the internet caught fire. With one live stream and a new track, he reignited the most explosive beef in modern rap, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. But this wasn't just a diss, it was a message wrapped in strategy, timing, and a chilling new persona, the Iceman. The track dropped exactly 1 year after Kendrick's Not Like Us shattered records. Coincidence? Not likely. And the lyrics, packed with betrayal, cryptic callouts, and coded warnings. Fans are divided. Is Drake exposing industry snakes or just venting old wounds? Whatever the truth, this wasn't just music, it was a move, a chess move. And to understand it, we need to unpack the timeline, decode the bars, and reveal the real game being played.
Section 1. The Iceman cometh. On July 4th, while fireworks lit up the sky, Drake lit a fuse. But it wasn't just a track drop, it was a calculated entrance. With chilling precision, he introduced a new persona to the world, the Iceman. Gone was the emotional Instagram caption Drake. This version? Cold, distant, unbothered. And everything from the rollout to the visuals reinforced that image. The live stream showed him cruising through Toronto in an Iceman-wrapped truck, interacting with fans, never breaking character. Even when one fan threw shade, he responded with the kind of sharp coolness that made the moment go viral. The Iceman branding wasn't random either. It was built on legends, Formula One driver Kimi Raikkonen and Top Gun's Val Kilmer, both known as Iceman. Drake wasn't just borrowing a nickname, he was redefining his narrative. And the date? July 4th, exactly 1 year after Kendrick's Not Like Us broke the internet and set new YouTube records. Coincidence? Not a chance. Drake used America's Independence Day to declare a new kind of freedom. From fake love, industry snakes, and people playing both sides. He wasn't just releasing music, he was reclaiming control. The track's tone was restrained but pointed, and the message was layered. I see who switched sides. I'm watching, and I'm writing it all down. While fans argued over whether it was a diss or a diary entry, one thing was clear: the energy had shifted. Drake was done playing defense. He was stepping into a colder role. And the next move, already locked in. But he didn't wait long to aim his pen at the traitors in his corner.
Section 2. The Betrayal Bars. Drake's new track wasn't filled with explosive name drops or wild accusations. It was colder than that, more surgical. And that made it hit even harder. The line that sent fans into decoding mode? I saw a bro at the pop-out with them, but been riding gang since headlines. To the casual listener, it sounds like another clever bar. But for those tuned in to the timeline, it was a loaded shot. The pop-out Drake referenced was Kendrick's June 19, 2024 homecoming concert in Los Angeles, a headline moment where several artists who once rode with Drake showed up in full support of his biggest rival. It wasn't just a concert, it was a public realignment. Kendrick took the stage in his city, backed by a wave of collaborators, some of whom had deep history with Drake. That performance included fiery lyrics like, "You better not ever throw the blood in love," which fans interpreted as Kendrick calling out inauthenticity and betrayal. Drake took note, and instead of shouting names, he took a colder route. He logged the betrayal in rhyme. The tone wasn't angry. It was disappointed, detached, like someone who isn't shocked anymore, just confirming what he already knew. He followed it up with lines that painted a picture of how isolating this industry can be when the money fades and loyalty becomes scarce. Last time I looked to my right, you was standing beside me. How can some people I love hang around to try me? These weren't just disses, they were diary entries carved in ice. And just like that, the focus shifted from Kendrick to the people standing behind him. Because in this war, Drake's not just fighting an opponent, he's cleaning house.
Section 3, Generational Divide and Fan Reactions. The moment Drake's track dropped, the internet became a battleground. On one side, Kendrick loyalists flooded X, formerly Twitter, dragging Drake for what they saw as delayed shots and passive aggression. One tweet read, "He's still stuck in 2024. Kendrick cooked him and he's still reheating old beef." Some fans even joked that Drake sounded like the ex who couldn't move on. But over on Reddit and in deeper hip-hop circles, the conversation took a different tone. Fans there saw something more strategic, a slow burn, a long game. One post on r/Drizzy called the song "Chess, Not Checkers," praising Drake for documenting betrayal rather than reacting emotionally. And that's where the generational divide really started to show. Younger fans, raised on fast-paced diss tracks and viral moments, expected instant retaliation. They wanted fireworks, name drops, hard punches, scorched earth. Older heads and analysts saw something else. Drake wasn't swinging wild, he was building a case, quietly, patiently. That calm, almost eerie tone confused some and impressed others. It wasn't typical Drake. It was colder, more deliberate, and it forced fans to look past surface-level bars and ask, what's he really trying to say? Meanwhile, the question lingered. Is this vulnerability or vengeance? The truth is, it's both. Drake's playing a unique role in this beef. Not just the competitor, but the narrator. He's not reacting in real time. He's recording history, adding names to the record book with every verse. While the internet argued over who looked softer, the real story was this: Drake got everyone listening, even the haters. And next, he let the numbers speak louder than the noise.
Section 4, Chart Moves and Media Framing. For all the noise online, Drake had one undeniable weapon in his corner: the numbers. Within 48 hours of dropping the track, it shot to the top of Spotify's Daily Top Songs USA chart and stayed there for 2 straight days, July 5th and 6th. Hate it or love it, people weren't just arguing about the song, they were streaming it on repeat. That kind of performance doesn't happen by accident. Drake knows how to seize a moment. The release timing, exactly 1 year after Not Like Us, wasn't petty, it was precise. While Kendrick fans celebrated their own anniversary, Drake came through with a reminder. He's still here, still dominant, and still dangerous. Major media outlets took notice. Complex called the live stream a defining pivot in Drake's public image. Billboard highlighted the Iceman rebrand as a shift from emotionally reactive to ruthlessly calculated. Even Hypebeast, usually image-focused, dove into the deeper symbolism behind Drake's new aesthetic, comparing it to a fighter stepping back into the ring after taking a few body shots. And let's talk visuals. The Iceman truck wasn't a prop, it was a rolling message. Every fan interaction, every side eye from Drake on stream was part of a larger narrative. I see everything. I remember everyone. The move wasn't just musical. It was cinematic, political, and media-savvy. So while Twitter dragged him and Reddit dissected him, Drake was dominating headlines, playlists, and YouTube clips all at once. He wasn't reacting. He was rewriting the story. But to really understand this move, we've got to go back. Because this beef didn't start last week. It started over a decade ago.
Section 5, How the Beef Began. To understand the fire behind every lyric, you have to rewind the clock all the way back to 2013. That's when Kendrick Lamar dropped his now legendary verse on Big Sean's Control. In a single verse, Kendrick name-checked nearly every major rapper in the game, including Drake, and essentially declared war on all of them. It wasn't just competitive energy, it was a line in the sand. Kendrick didn't just want to be great, he wanted to bury the competition. And Drake, he felt that. Publicly, he played it cool, but behind the scenes, the tension was lit. For years, it simmered. Subliminals traded in interviews, slick bars buried in album cuts. But the real explosion didn't come until 2024. That's when Kendrick hopped on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That and crushed the idea of the Big Three. His message, there ain't no Big Three, it's just Big Me. That was the moment Drake knew he couldn't stay silent. On April 19, 2024, he dropped Push-Ups, a direct, mocking attack on Kendrick's credibility, hype, and legacy. But he didn't stop there. That same day, Drake released Tailor-Made Freestyle, using AI versions of Tupac and Snoop Dogg's voices to pressure Kendrick into responding. The backlash was instant. Tupac's estate threatened legal action, and platforms pulled the track. But Drake had made his point. No rules, no limits. From there, things escalated fast. Kendrick fired back with Euphoria and Meet the Grams, tearing into Drake's personal life. Suddenly, this wasn't just rap beef. It was psychological warfare. And with each track, the stakes got higher. This wasn't two rappers trading bars. This was legacy on the line.
Section 6. The escalation gets real. After Kendrick's Euphoria rattled the culture, he followed up with Meet the Grams, a diss so personal, fans said it felt like he'd read Drake's diary. The lyrics weren't just punches, they were pressure points. Kendrick didn't aim for the charts, he aimed for Drake's core, questioning everything from his relationships to his integrity. DJ Head later claimed Kendrick told him the song was more than just bars, it was truth. Whether that's fact or flex, it lit the fuse. Drake clapped back with Family Matters, a 7-minute counterattack that peeled back Kendrick's activist image. He mocked Kendrick's woke persona with lines like, "Always rapping like you about to get the slaves free. You just acting like an activist is make-believe." The track charted high, but it wasn't just about numbers, it was about regaining control. Then came the Heart Part 6. Drake flipped the script, claiming everything Kendrick responded to was a trap, that he and his team had fed Kendrick false info and Kendrick fell for it. Whether true or not, it shook the fan base. Suddenly, the beef wasn't just lyrical, it became tactical. Each artist wasn't just defending their name, they were trying to outmaneuver each other in real time. But things really crossed the line when it spilled into the real world. Drake sued Universal Music Group in early 2025, claiming they pushed Not Like Us, knowing it contained false accusations, and that the fallout led to threats, vandalism, even a shooting outside his Toronto home. Now the courts are involved. Lawyers, judges, discovery motions, all over rap lyrics. And just like that, the booth became a battlefield, and the culture was watching every move.
Section 7. Legal warfare and cultural shockwaves. When Drake filed his lawsuit against Universal Music Group in January 2025, the game officially changed. This wasn't just lyrical beef anymore, it was legal warfare. Drake claimed Not Like Us didn't just attack his reputation, it endangered his life. He pointed to his shooting outside his Toronto home, vandalism at his OVO store, and a wave of threats fueled by lyrics he says were knowingly false. UMG fired back hard, calling the lawsuit legal blather and insisting the lyrics were protected under artistic expression. Their stance? This is hip-hop. Exaggeration and metaphor are part of the culture. But Drake's move exposed something deeper. The fine line between performance and real-world consequences. Suddenly, rap beef wasn't confined to diss tracks and subtweets, it was being debated in courtrooms. Lawyers were parsing punchlines. Judges were deciding if a metaphor was a weapon. The cultural ripple effect has been massive. Fans and critics alike are now asking, where's the boundary? When does entertainment cross into defamation? Can a rapper still spit raw truth without fearing lawsuits? Even more shocking, this may set a legal precedent. If Drake wins, it could reshape how rap battles are written, performed, and distributed. Meanwhile, Kendrick hasn't publicly commented. No tweets, no interviews, just silence. And that silence is powerful. It keeps the mystique alive while the spotlight stays glued to Drake and to the questions his lawsuit raises about power, labels, and the cost of narrative control. In a genre built on raw truth and unchecked bravado, Drake took the one step no one saw coming. He put it all on paper and took it to court. But what does this say about the bigger picture? About who these two artists really are?
Section 8. Drake versus Kendrick. Two very different legacies. Drake and Kendrick aren't just rivals, they're opposites. Two artists at the top of the game, using completely different playbooks to stay there. Drake's path, global domination, 13 #1 albums, billions of streams, and a career built on emotional transparency and mass appeal. He's the king of reinvention, turning personal drama into platinum records. When life hands him chaos, he sells it with melody. From family fallout to ghostwriting scandals, Drake doesn't dodge controversy. He monetizes it. Kendrick, meanwhile, chose depth over dominance. He's the Pulitzer-winning poet of the genre, dissecting society, identity, and pain through intricate storytelling. He doesn't flood playlists. He drops when he has something to say, and when he does, the culture listens. His work is studied in classrooms and blasted in car stereos. Few can straddle both worlds like he does. And their beef? It's exposed their core differences. Drake is the tactician, always adapting, always responding, always in motion. Kendrick is the sniper, silent, precise, and deadly when it counts. One thrives on visibility, the other on mystique. One fights back instantly, the other waits, then strikes with surgical force. Their fans reflect this divide. Drake's base craves accessibility, vulnerability, and hooks you can hum. Kendrick's crowd demands depth, introspection, and bars that make you rewind. And somehow, both approaches have worked. Neither has folded, neither has backed down. But with lawsuits pending, legacies on the line, and the culture still split, the biggest question remains. Is this beef nearing its final act, or is the best yet to come? Because in a battle this layered, sometimes it's not about who wins, it's about who rewrites the rules.
Conclusion: a battle bigger than bars. In the end, this isn't just Drake versus Kendrick. It's vulnerability versus precision, strategy versus silence, charts versus craft. What started as lyrical jabs has evolved into a full-scale war, fought through music, media, and now the courtroom. But beyond the headlines, streams, and diss tracks lies something bigger. Two artists pushing the boundaries of what hip-hop can be. Drake turned controversy into currency. Kendrick turned complexity into culture. Together, they've redefined the rules, showing that in today's game, it's not just about who can spit the hardest verse, but who can own the story, shape the narrative, and control the moment. Their rivalry hasn't just entertained the world, it's challenged the genre, forced fans to choose sides, rethink authenticity, and ask where art ends and accountability begins. And as legal battles unfold and more tracks drop, one thing is clear: this saga isn't over, it's evolving. If you've made it this far, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment. Who's winning this war, Drake or Kendrick? And if this video broke it down for you, don't forget to like and share. The next twist is coming, and you won't want to miss it.